What's up, yard freakos, and thanks for joining me on this video. So today, this video is going to be all about soil testing. I'm going to introduce you to an easy to use kit that I found online. Us getting soil samples from the front and the backyard because we have different types of grasses in there that will have different needs. And then we're going to see the results from this test once we mail it in. So let's get started. Okay, so I found this soil test kit online from Amazon, and it's called the MySoil Test Kit, and it just had awesome reviews. I think it's going to help me figure out what my yard does and does not need to help us get a healthy soil so that we can have a healthy lawn. So the good thing about this, it comes pre-packaged with its mail-in envelope, as you can see here. And then it has a scoop so you can get your thing, and it gives you instructions to get your soil kit and everything. And see, look at that. It even has, I'm assuming this is just, distilled water and then a nutrient absorbent capsule. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, let's get started here and see what we can do. So let's read the instructions first. So we got to register online first. So I'm going to go do that real quick. Okay, so here in my front yard, I got Kentucky bluegrass with a little bit of red fescue mixed in. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sampling where I think I've been applying the most even and best amount of fertilizer, because I want to see if I'm lacking nutrients in the best part of the yard. I definitely will need it in the parts of the yard that haven't been getting it as good. So let's get started here. So first thing you want to do is you want to avoid the thatch area, because basically it'll throw off the organic count within the soil sample if that's the one you have. So what I'm just going to do is get the thatch out of here and then dig just about 2 to 3 inches into the soil and try and avoid as much of the organic matter as possible. Okay, let's just do a little bit more here. Okay, look at that. Looks like we got enough in there for that. Let's put it in the kit.
That's what I thought.
Shut up, Siri. Okay, now be careful, guys, because it does have distilled water in these things. So, break the seal here. It says don't take anything out, just add the soil into there. There we go. See that? Let's get some of this grass out of there. Okay. Okay. Now let's go do the backyard. Okay, so here I've got a mixture of buffalo grass and blue grama, and I'm testing this soil to see, because I suspect I have a very alkali soil back here because I haven't been amending it. And also I suspect that because of that alkali soil, I have iron chlorosis issue, which is something buffalo grass can be susceptible to. So you can just see the clear difference in my soil sample already between the front yard and the backyard. This is obviously a lot more clay than what we had in the backyard, which seemed to have more organic matter in it. Let's get that soil into there. I forgot to mention this just now, but if you're going to be doing more than one soil sample, especially between yards, make sure you clean. If you're going to be using the same trowel or whatever, make sure you clean it off so you don't contaminate one of the samples with soil from the other. That would be a no bueno. Okay, so there we go. So you gotta be careful with the distilled water. Try and get this grass root out of there. Gotta love clay soil here in Colorado. Okay. And there we go. Okay, so make sure you don't lose these things. These are what trace your soil samples to the registration that you did for the kits. So let's get these mailed out. All right, y'all, so I have a little confession to make. So what I just showed you is not the correct way to use this soil test. I was kind of in a rush when I was filming that, and I didn't read the instructions, which is always the bane of my existence. And by the time I got the soils done and shipped off, I actually read the instructions and figured out that I did it all wrong. So I went back, bought 2 more tests. I did exactly the way it told me to, and that is the analysis that you're going to see today. The funny thing is when I got the analysis back for all 4 of those samples, they're almost the same. So I thought that was a little bit interesting. But with that said, read the instructions when you get the soil test and do it correctly so you can get an accurate reading of what your yard is doing. So let's start with the front yard here and see what we have. So as you can see, I'm a little surprised by some of the results in this analysis. So the phosphorus doesn't surprise me at all. I guess I've just been using Milorganite too much, and so it doesn't surprise me at all that I have a wicked high phosphorus count. So no more phosphorus for my fertilizers for quite some time, and I'm not worried about that because that phosphorus is probably getting locked into the soil, and that will lead into the next part of this conversation. So obviously, I need something that I obviously need a fertilizer that is more nutrient rich in nitrogen and potassium and sulfur. I'll see if I can find something like that, but at least for the macros, yes, I can get a nitrogen and potassium with no phosphorus fertilizer. It's not that hard to do. But with the sulfur here, I'm actually intrigued because I thought after applying a bunch of it a couple of years ago, it would have made up for that deficit and lowered my pH, and it obviously didn't. So I guess I'm gonna have to be just making elemental sulfur applications a routine while I test every year to, 1, give the sulfur plant health, but 2, really drive down my pH levels. Because by driving my pH levels down, what you can see is 1, it's going to unlock the phosphorus that's probably been chemically inactivated in my soil, as well as unlock the micronutrients as well, the iron, the copper, the manganese, the zinc, etc., etc. Because when you bring the pH down, that allows chemical reactions to happen that couldn't have happened otherwise. So I don't think I'm really what's the best way I can say it? I don't think I'm really deficient in my micros, because when I start allowing the chemical reaction of my pH going down by applying the elemental sulfur, those chemicals will get unlocked and the plants will be able to utilize them. So I thought that was interesting. So with that, let's go with our backyard here. So at the backyard, this was really surprising to me, considering that thing has basically been bare dirt up until 2 years ago, and because it's buffalo grass, I really wasn't applying a lot of fertilizer to it. So I don't know what's going on here, but obviously there's more than enough nitrogen there, so we're not going to worry about that. The potassium and the phosphorus, okay, I guess maybe I just need to apply some more sulfur and potassium-rich kind of fertilizer there. And then once again, yeah, I need to bring the pH down. So by applying a bunch of sulfur, it's going to unlock all those micros, I believe, and then the plant will be able to thrive that much more. So interesting results. This MySoil thing here, I think it's good. Quite frankly, I think this is something everyone should do right when we're coming out of winter. So basically after that last snow and you get that first rain, go and get a soil sample and see what you have to do for that year to be able to help your yard out. And I think testing right coming out of winter is probably the best course, because by the whole season, previous season, you can see did your work make a difference or not, and get it to where you can optimize your soil. So with that said, you guys have a good one. Take it easy, and I'll talk to you next time.